Yes, I see you there. So how are you doing this evening? And welcome to me channel. If you're new here, my name is Rusty, and this is where I talk about me favorite movies, mostly horror, and me favorite music, mostly metal, and yeah. So tonight, first of all, I'm wearing the lovely Miss Carter sent me some Halloween socks, so I'm gonna film them. Tonight's filming will be with my Halloween socks. I had to find like a shirt with orange on it to kind of match them. They're pretty cool. I feel all jack-o'-lantern. So yes, tonight I'm going to do a few what's called, well, it's a new genre called Screen Life, and it's movies like Unfriended and stuff like that. So we're going to start with one called Friend Request. If I can get close enough. Now, Friend Request, I forgot how much I liked it when I rewatched it for these reviews. I did go and find the Blu-ray. I found a Blu-ray for reasonable to upgrade this to a Blu-ray because I really, really liked this movie. And kind of forgot how much I liked it until I rewatched it and a few others for this little recording session. And so, yeah. Friend Request was released in 2016, and it was directed by Simon Verhoeven, written by Matthew BallenPhilip Koch, and Simon Verhoeven, starring Alycia Debnam-Carey. Alycia Debnam-Carey. I know they can't help it, but you would think, I mean, Marilyn Monroe, that was not her real name. You would think that a person who became an actor, of course I'm sure you can be proud of your name, but I mean if I had a like really difficult or unusual name, I would be like, I want everybody to know my name, but as far as my movie roles go, just call me Cher. You know what I mean? So Alycia Debnam-Carey, William Moseley, and Connor Paolo. So those were pretty easy. So yes, so this is 2016. So we're a few years into the Screen Life movies. You have Searching and Unfriended and Dark Web, and there's quite a few others. Spree is one of the new ones. There's a couple of others that I want to pick up as well. Now, Friend Request basically opens with Olivia and Laura sitting in class in college. This takes place in college. So they're at uni, and the professor comes in and tells them that a girl that one of their classmates has committed suicide on cam and uploaded it to the university database, to the website. And of course, if anybody's caught sharing it, that you'll get suspended and all that kind of stuff. Now, they look very shocked. Laura and Olivia look kind of shocked, and they look kind of weird at each other. And then we go into a flashback where we see what led up to the suicide. We get to know Liz through her social media. We get to know her little group of friends, which is her boyfriend Tyler. You have Olivia, Isabel, Gus, and Kobe. That's the main ones. Now, Laura is a really nice girl, and she notices this girl, Marina, in class. This is the girl that committed suicide. So she notices her in class, and she notices her in the lunchroom. She's very... What doesn't, I think, well, that's her right there. But, she's very pale. She kind of looks like, she doesn't really look goth or anything. It's more like, I don't really know how you describe that particular look, but she's got a gray hoodie, a dark gray hoodie, and she just looks, I wanted to say goth, but it's not full out goth. It's more like, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know how to describe that particular look, but she can tell, that she's lonely and stuff like that. And the girl notices her, and I guess because she had looked at her in a nice way is all it took for this Marina person to send her a friend's request. So she was at her friend's house when this occurred. So they're, of course, all like, oh, who is that? And she tells them, oh, it's that girl in the class. And they notice that she has 0 friends on her social media. And so she looks at her profile, and she's really interested. She's like, she makes beautiful artwork with these little clips, little GIFs that she's done herself. And she thinks she's really talented, so she goes ahead and she becomes her first friend. And her friends, of course, was like, how do you not have any? Well, maybe you just started your profile. Maybe you just moved here. Who knows, So she did that, and she talks to her the next day at school. And the girl immediately, you can tell that something is wrong, because she immediately starts sending her all of these messages, acting very clingy. She's only known her a couple of days, and she's just like, we're best friends forever. We're going to, stuff like that. The friends, of course, are like, okay, this is weird. And sending her pics and texts and stuff like that. She also begins to immediately have bad dreams about Marina. So, this is when they decide to go and take a little bit more deeper dive. So they go further down on her timeline, and they see really disturbing pictures. Really gross. This is a rated R movie, so they see really disturbing pictures, really gross stuff, and they're like, okay, this is a little weird. And her friends are, when they see that, they're like, you need to stop hanging around her. You know what I'm saying? And remember, this has only been a few days. So her birthday is, coming up next week. So she tries to avoid her. So they've now known each other for what, about a week, about 8-9 days. And, her friends are like, how are you going to get her to not come to the birthday party, And so she tells her that it's just going to be her and her boyfriend going out to dinner, which was kind of true. Of course, her other best friend circle, which is, like I said, it's only 4 or 5 people. So it's her parents, her boyfriend, and 4 or 5 people. So it's not like she had a giant birthday party. So Laura's really not done anything wrong. Now, this girl sees that. She follows them to the restaurant. She's following her social media from the other friends. So she sees them snapping pictures. And the next day at school, she causes a really ugly scene in the cafeteria. She accuses, like, why didn't you invite me? Why are you lying to me? Stuff like this. And then actually just like physically attacks her, This causes Laura to fight back. And in the process, her hoodie comes off. Now, the rumor that you had heard just, was that she was a hair puller, and she told that they said the name of people that basically pull their own hair out. It's got a name. Of course, I can't remember it, but, I definitely do not rip my hair out, as you can see. So I don't know the name of it, but it was true, because when that hoodie came off in front of all of these students who were already looking like, what the fuck? There's probably, I would say probably 30% of her hair has like been ripped out of her head by herself. So there's bunch of bald spots and scabs and stuff. Because I mean, you're not going to rip your own hair out before you're going to have some wounds for doing that. This, of course, humiliates her, and that humiliates her like it would anyone. And so she knocks the hoodie off, revealing her head with all of the missing hair and scars, and it was pretty ridiculous. And then she feels really guilty about that, and she goes home that night, and there is a mirror on the wall that this girl had made for her, and it sort of causes her to have a hallucination. And then we come back, after she has that hallucination, and Olivia asks her, also known as Liz, ask her, like, what's going on. Now her friends have found out about the cafeteria scene, and so they basically say, get the hell away from her. So she agrees, and she pulls the trigger, if you will, and she unfriends her. And that was what we flash back now to that day at the college at the beginning of the movie, where the professor is telling them that she has committed suicide online or on camera and uploaded it. So that was that what the fuck look between Olivia and Laura, was because of the past that we just saw. Now remember, this whole thing only took 10 days, so that was pretty weird. So she tries to deal with the guilt, and then all of a sudden, her suicide video shows up on her profile, like you posted it. Now, of course, this made the 900 people on her friends list are like, well, why are you posting? Isn't that the girl? Because you can imagine the comments, right? Isn't that the girl that you had a fight with in the cafeteria? That girl that committed suicide? Why are you posting her suicide video on your basically the movie's version of Facebook? Like, why are you doing that? So immediately people, unsubscribe, unfollow her. A few of them, unfollow her, and they're all like, and she's like, what the fuck? I did not post that, right? So she tries to delete it. She can't delete it. It won't let her delete. There's all these kind of errors that pop up that won't let her delete it. So, everyone at school then begins to have the video show up on their timelines, because you know how you can tag people? So like 800, all the 800 people on her friends list were tagged in the video. So the video was showing up on their timeline as well. And you can imagine, what that would do. And basically all she did was the girl, she hung herself and set herself on fire in front of her laptop. And so that's the video that is now showing up on all of that. So the cops come and talk to her and everything, because, that is not cool. So the cops come and talk to her, about the incident. She tells them, I did not post this. Are you crazy? I wouldn't have done that. I didn't even know the bitch for like 10 days. You know what I'm saying? And Kobe, her friend Kobe, is a hacker. So he starts trying to help her, like, how can we get this video? Because, I mean, nothing's working. She can't delete her own profile. She can't delete the picture. She can't seem to stop anything from happening, that's going on. Now, this leads us to Gus, her friend Gus, from the friend circle that I told you about. He has this really cool kill scene where he ends up, brevity here, trying to keep this short. He ends up getting killed in an elevator, basically stung to death by wasps. And all of a sudden, the footage of him and his girlfriend Isabel, she is bringing home some food, so she had just talked to him. She shows up at the elevator as he was coming down because he had gotten spooked up there. You have to watch the whole scene. But he gets killed in the elevator. It opens up, and that's what she witnesses, is he has basically smashed his own skull in, all over the elevator. So she freaks out, ends up in the hospital. Laura and Liz and Kobe and Tyler and all of them go to see her, and she's whacked out from having witnessed what she did. And that's when all of a sudden the elevator footage from the CCTV from the elevator shows up on Laura's profile the same way the suicide video did, with what friends were left, because it shows you her friend number going down, right? So now her and 650 out, 650 friends that were left, they're tagged in the actual showing Gus bashing his skull in all over and people are like, you are sick for posting your own friend's death video. Now this poor girl is like, I am not doing shit. I can't even delete my account. I can't unfriend this bitch. I can't delete my account. I'm not doing this. So, and she does all the stuff you would probably do. She calls Facebook, like, this is happening. Can you delete my profile? No, it's an error. Nobody can do it. Well, if you've ever tried that, you know what you would have to go through. That's why there's hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of profiles on Facebook that are just abandoned because of the requirements necessary for somebody to delete a program. Their security is so tight. Anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent, but their security is so tight that if you forget your password or something like that, you're going to have to basically provide them a sperm sample to get them to delete it, because they don't want someone calling them or writing them and deleting somebody's profile that they don't like. So you have to go through so much security to delete. That's why there's a million Facebook profiles that the people who own it. I even play an online game, and I went and asked the question and wondered how come no one has posted on the game's Facebook. I wrote the owner and I'm like, hey, we made some posts on that and nobody's posted. And she's like, I forgot the password and nobody can post of the administration of this game. So our game website or our game Facebook is just stuck. And I'm like, well, why don't you delete it? And she's like, please. I don't know how you prove to Facebook it's me, that's my profile, and I want it gone. It's just like, but Facebook does warn you about that. They're like, hey, go put your password in the safe deposit box at the bank, because let me tell you, if you ever forget it, you're fucked. Okay, that's just it. Okay, we're gonna have to, I can't bring the FBI to DNA test you before we're gonna delete your profile. But anyway, so she's got Kobe trying to help her. He's looking at the code, trying to hack it, and he realizes that there's this really weird code behind it, and he doesn't know what to do with it. It almost looks like shit from Lord of the Rings, the code behind it. So, she can't delete her stuff, and everybody's beginning to hate her for it. She even gets suspended from college for that one, for Gus. And Kobe continues to try. They go and look in her room. Her and Kobe go and look in that girl Marina's room, trying to find something. And they do find stuff. They find a couple of pictures, because they want to know who this person is. Because it turns out that no one even knows who this girl was. All of her information from the school has vanished. It's not in the database, like, name, address, family, friends, anything. It's just all gone. So they do find some stuff in her room. They find some books on witchcraft. And they find some pictures from an old school, like her old school. So Laura, goes there while Kobe continues to try to work on helping her. So she goes and talks to where this girl came from. And the teacher gives her some backstory about how she was a very strange child, and that they look it up on the internet. Kobe, them, Tyler as well is trying to help her. So they find out that when her mother was in a weird religious cult, and the whole cult burnt down, and the mother was the only survivor, and she was like 8.5 months pregnant with that Marina girl. And so they kept her body alive until the baby was viable to be taken out of her. So she basically lived in a brain-dead mother, burnt up, brain-dead mother, and that's where she came from. And at this school, she had been assaulted, if you know what I mean, by these other two kids, and bullied and all of this kind of stuff. And they found a news article where those exact two kids, about 12-year-olds, were found with these horribly mutilated faces. So, yeah. So he's trying to do all of this. We see Kobe then finding out, or coming to the conclusion, that this suicide that she did was a witchcraft ritual. What was it called? Scrying or something? And it's where you use a mirror. But a laptop is a mirror. My computer, I'm looking into a camera, And so witches would use mirrors they would enchant mirrors with their selves, and by committing suicide in front of them. And so this girl committed suicide in front of the laptop in a witchcraft ritual. And that's what Kobe now believes has gone on, and he tells Laura about it. Now, they had also found that article, like I said, about them killing, that girl was the one who killed those two little boys, even when she was, the same age, or a little younger than them. So then we have the Isabel kill. Isabel was at the hospital. She does the same thing. She goes nuts. She cuts her own throat. Of course, during the kill scene, you see what's going on to make her do that, just like Gus. So, that also, her going in there to cut her throat and all, was also then uploaded to Laura's profile. So you can imagine now her friend has dropped down to pretty much zero. It's like she is like universally hated. You're sick. You're disgusting. All of this kind of stuff. So now that she knows about all of this cult stuff and all, her and Kobe, Olivia, throws herself out her own window and lands on Tyler and Laura's car. So she's in the hospital, and she ends up her death scene is pretty cool. She's got a cop guarding her. She gets up, rips all the stuff off of her, possessed by this witch or something, and gets his gun from him and blows her own brains out. And so you see all of that. Now, Kobe and Laura decide to go to the actual cult site where, Marina's mom had been, that had burnt down and everything. So they go to that actual cult site, and it's a lot of really spooky scenes to try to, because they believe this is where her laptop is at. Because you see, no one knows where she committed suicide in this suicide video. They figured out that it's possibly at that cult site. So that's what they're looking for down in the basement. And right as they get close to finding it, there is a big twist, and that is that Kobe, he's being haunted like all of her friends were, he has finally kind of lost it, and he ends up like saying, he basically tells her, we're all going to die, because she doesn't want to kill you. She wants to kill all of your friends. She wants you to be lonely. So the only way for us to not be killed is to kill you. And then he stabs her. I didn't see that coming, so that was kind of shocking. So he stabs her to try to save him and Tyler, which is that's the only one of her friends that are left now, is her boyfriend and him. So he stabs her to try to keep from being killed, basically. It's the solution he's come up with for this problem. So Tyler, though, he arrives at this place. She manages to get away from Kobe and runs, because she realizes that the laptop is not there. The laptop is right down the road at this factory, because she recognizes the factory skyline from the girl's pictures and stuff that she had put on her profile. So she's like, that's where the laptop's at. So she's gutted and trying to get to it, and Kobe is trying to get to her, and now Tyler is trying to get to her as well. So Tyler and Kobe end up showing. Of course, he doesn't know that Kobe has stabbed her. They show up at the factory. She's went down into the factory, and we get to see those two little boys that had been cut. I guess they're now the witch, Marina. I guess they're now her minions, familiars or something. And they're really kind of Hellraiser-like, with the mutilated faces and all. So they're pretty cool. And she manages to find the laptop, but right before she does, she turns around and Kobe is there. And he had just gotten through killing Tyler, because right when they got inside of there to the factory and were looking for Laura, Tyler ran up to Laura before she went down the hallway to where the laptop was, and he's trying to tell her it's all going to be all right. So, and all of a sudden, a big giant knife comes through his throat, and Kobe has killed him. So you have his kill scene, but instead of being killed by the witch, he was killed by Kobe. Laura runs on towards that laptop. Kobe's behind her. And then we see a really cool kill scene where Kobe gets killed by this massive swarm of black wasps. Something about witches and black wasps. So his scene is pretty disgusting. And then she manages to get up to the laptop. And I really don't know what she thinks she's going to do. But it really doesn't work. Because this demonic Marina basically comes out and attacks her. So, next thing you know, screen goes black. That was a nice jump scare as well. Then we are suddenly back at college, and you're at a normal scene, and you end up creeping up to this cafeteria. It was pretty much the same, same cafeteria. I don't know if it was the same cafeteria. Maybe it was a different college. I'm not sure. But you see a couple of really nicely dressed girls sitting at this table having dinner, and you see her looking at someone, and then it turns around, and it's Laura. Sitting over there by herself, wearing that same kind of hoodie, with that same kind of pale, pallor, starving look on her face. So now you know what happened at that jump scare, and that was that Marina took her and became her. So is that how she's like traveling now? She's switched bodies. She possessed Laura because Laura is now... You can tell, too, that that girl that looks at her gave her the same look that Laura had given Marina. So you know it's fixing to repeat again. And you know that girl is fixing to try to befriend her, and it's going to start all over. So, and that's the way the movie ends, is with Laura giving the camera this really evil look, letting you know that she is whatever Marina was. And yeah, that's it. Now, like I said, I really, really loved this movie. This movie was really good. And I'd forgotten how good it was, which is why I went and put the Blu-ray. It's not like super easy to find. But I found it for a reasonable price, so I'm planning on upgrading this to a Blu-ray so I can have both. But it's a really good movie. If you like Unfriended and movies like that, Friend Request is excellent. Now, unlike Dark Web and Friends Request, this is pretty much just like 30% screen life. Most of the action takes place in the real world, not on computer screens like Searching or Unfriended. But yeah, excellent. 2016 Friend Request. Really, really like this. This is what did I give it? A 7.5 out of 10. If you haven't seen it, you really should. If you like this type of movie. But yeah, I will see you on the next one. I'm going to do both of the Unfriendeds and then the Black Phone. And so yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Love you, miss you, bye. Always remember, never forget. You are a very special individual. And don't let anyone ever tell you differently. Because they would be lying to you. And I will see you on the next one. Love you, miss you, bye. Thank you for stopping by. If you like this, let me know why. If you hate it, let me know why. Just let me know. I really am interested. But I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.